Om Jananam Bhagyam Babaji. Om Sangam Amritam Babaji. Om Yogam Siddham Babaji. Om Dhanam Punyam Babaji. Om Sharanam Vilayam Babaji. Om Swaranam Swargam Babaji.
Namaste. Let us now see, after the birth and after the vital forces enter the human body or any other animal body for that matter, specifically because we are going to realize animals are not having that kind of chances, we will consider only the human being and we will see how the human life is sandwiched between life and death, or between appearance and disappearance of the human body. This will give an insight for all of us to further our spiritual awareness, increase our spiritual way, get clarity on our spiritual path, and will know where is our goal, whether the goal is visible to us or we are putting a opaque mask over it, or we are making a clarity and transparent goal which is visible to us all the moment, all the time, all the days and all the nights, each breath we take. Let us go further.
Guruve Saranam, Guruve Saranam, Guruve Saranam, Guruve Saranam.
Once the child comes out, detaches from the Supreme Soul, it wants nourishment. Till such time it doesn't want nourishment. The Supreme Soul doesn't want to leave the child alone. So, the macro Supreme Soul gives milk in the form of breast milk to the Supreme Soul of the individual child, so that even before the birth of the child, milk is created in the breast of the mother. The child gets nourishment through the mother's milk. Most of the time that mother's milk is the medicine, panacea, food, drink and everything for the child. Because of our assumption of having acquired vast knowledge on childbirth and child rearing and child bringing up, we introduce several methods and spend money to nourish the child. And we start giving all sorts of medicines, all sorts of nourishment, all sorts of drinks, all sorts of food related items to the child. As a result of this, the child gets choices of food. A choiceless being is made into a choiceful being. We only create it. As a result of this journey, the child continues to get nourishment. Initially it takes milk, then it demands milk, then it demands food, then it demands comforts, then it demands air conditioning, then it demands clothing, then it starts gathering all sorts of foods. Now the grown-up child seeks cooked and uncooked food according to its choice, drinks to rejuvenate it, drinks to intoxicate it, keep it in excited mode for some time. The intoxicated consumption of alcohol or such other food never works for the benefit of the intellectual portion of the individual, gets degraded. Slowly and slowly, the grown-up child wants to consume some rajasic food which increases the anger, which reduces the sattvic guna. Thinking ability, thinking faculty reduces. Once the grown-up child picking up such kind of food, such kind of drinks, such kind of habits, such kind of friendship, such kind of environment would not allow the child to mature for a spiritual being. The ambience around the child, the friendship around the child are more interested in attending to the day's affair of accumulating wealth, accumulating property, accumulating power, accumulating authority, subduing others, condemning others, entering into cutthroat business, keeping the main aim as making money, grabbing authority, grabbing powers from others, grabbing property from others. Such ill acts goes on, allowing the child to accumulate more and more, not knowing that grown-up person that whatever it is gaining, whatever it is accumulating, whatever it is gathering would not be enjoyed by it. Many times hoarding happens, many times hiding happens. Many of the ill-gotten wealth needs to be hidden. All goes unethical. The unethical friends gathered around also has got individual thinking. There could be difference of opinion between these groups. One tries to cut throat the other. The chasing, killing, injuring, entering into evil acts, entering into violent act, all such things continue. There is no room for the individually grown-up person to think anything about spiritual. The purpose of his life, purpose of his arrival to this earth, all those things are lacking. Now look at from the seeding position, from the fertilization of the egg, embryonic stage, the child slowly goes up in the womb of the mother. Mother has hundreds and hundreds of dreams of bringing up the child in a better way. But once the child is born, mother's attention also gets diverted to other, because the entire community is not spiritual. Very least number of surroundings are spiritual. So the mother also has to compete with the others in the group. So in tune with keeping competition with others, mother also gives some lenience to the child, the parent also gives some lenience to the child. Shortcuts are adopted. Somehow they pass the examination in the schools, colleges, pick up copying, use unethical methods to get a pass mark. With all these things, once they come out of the schooling, they feel that they have become all learned because they have a certificate in their hand. Now, what they cultivated in the childhood continues to act in ill way by the child, which becomes a grown-up one. From the infancy becomes a child, then an adolescence, then it becomes adult, then it becomes grown up, then it becomes old age. But the aging process happens, whereas the maturity is not at all realized by the grown up old man. As a result, the society can have more number of aged persons, less number of matured persons. You can see the kind of dharnas, the kind of arthals, the kind of demonstrations going on in the society, mostly instigated by others, instigated with wrong intent in mind, with the political reasons, dividing the persons, dividing the group, dividing the community on caste lines, religious lines, and other segregations like area, region, color, community, etc. So there is no scope for an individual to look for any solution of spiritual growth in and around it. Unless the individual wants to self-elevate, self-realize, there is no chance for the individual to go for a self-awareness or self-realization. It is here the individuals get some interest, approach the right person, right Margadarshi, right Guru, and such of those individuals, out of 100, 1 or 2, or out of 1,000, 1 or 2, they may try to adopt a spiritual path which they label as spiritual path. Many times they also embrace the same kind of tendency what hitherto they have practiced. So until a distinction is established by the individual between the previous and the present position in the same life situation, the maturity and the realization chances are very low. So the right way is to approach a guru who will guide you, who will take you to the right path, who will cut all your unwanted habits, who will make you to realize attaining the Supreme Soul is the main aim. The purpose of life is to be gathered through the Guru. Once you gather, then all those which have given you gratification, which have given you taste, which have attracted you, would not attract you. From that point of time, the individual will not be attracted by or subdued by any kind of gathering, any kind of attraction, any kind of tempting, any kind of take, any kind of taste, etc. So the right Guru will give the right knowledge to the extent that the individual needs to further their spiritual path without any choice. They need to be practiced for a choiceless life. And the Guru will instill and infuse within the right disciple that the choiceless life, unattracted life, is what which can lead one to self-realization. Once you become saltless, once you become tasteless, once you become choiceless, then once we experienced these things in our life, we will be in a position to taste anything with taste or without taste, with salt or without salt, with sweet or without sweet. So, the Panchendriyas are also trained, the Karmendriyas are also made to increase its awareness, are also made to increase their awareness, as a result of which the Guru's infusion of right knowledge to the individual works as a panacea for the individual to realize the Supreme Soul. Somewhere also we discussed about the 9 dwaras, Navadwaras, 2 eyes, 1 mouth, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 1 genital and 1 anus. As we grow towards a self-awareness, self-realization, all these 9 dwaras, which are entry point as well as exit point, will convert or modify or transform itself into the right instruments for us to leave out the prana which had entered us from a sacred space, needs to go to another sacred space of higher order. Then only the realization of the self is said to be realized. Otherwise, it is only a journey to and fro, come and grow, up and down, and circulating or circumventing here and there. The life force will continue to enter a body, giving it as a life, and the life force will exit from the same body after some time. this cycle of birth and death will continue to happen. Each birth and each death, in between each birth and each death, the life will suffer and suffer and suffer. During the each birth span, the life being will enjoy 10 part good, 15 part good, and 85 part sufferings, or 80, 85, 90 parts sufferings. So, the individuals, when they take every birth, they will be enjoying the 10 part of the span of the total life with all kind of happiness. But when the suffering part comes, they will not be able to bear. They will be cursing themselves, they will be cursing the God, they will be cursing the friends, they will be cursing all the associates with them. In order to avoid and not to pass on the burden of our own ill doings, we need to bring self-awareness to us, for which we need to approach a right Guru. The right Guru will be approached only by the right disciple. The contact point between Guru and the disciple can happen only when things are likely to happen with the guidance or with the overseeing of the Supreme Soul. In order to happen that kind of supreme meeting or connection with the Guru, connection with the Supreme Soul, one needs to cultivate the Panchendriyas, the Jnanendriyas, the Karmendriyas, and the mind as well as the Chittam. Only when all such things happen, when we practice all these things little by little, it gets accumulated and makes our life so that there is a ease of living, ease of walking on the spiritual path. Okay? Up to how much we will see in another video, continuing the same other part of life. Till such time, Om Sadguru Babaji Namaha. Om Sadguru Babaji Namaha. Om Sadguru Babaji Namaha.